This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we are talking about how personal development is a team sport. Let's think about it this way. There are pretty much only three categories of life: relationships, health, and finance. That's it. Don't make it complicated. There are only three categories of life. You have now a certain amount of years of experience in those three areas of life. If you're 20 years old, okay, you got 20 years of experience. If you have been lucky enough to have had parents who are massively succeeding in these three categories of life, you're amazingly blessed, okay? Because most people don't. The vast majority of people are either poor in those categories or mediocre or middle class in those categories of life. Very few people have riches in relationships, riches in health, and riches in financials because most families are dysfunctional because of monogamy. Monogamy has caused the world that we live in today, where there is the vast majority of the time scarcity instead of abundance. It's a problem. And right now, when you're thinking about you moving on in your life, you're 18, 20, 22 years old, however old you are, if you've never had a team working on you, you are missing out. Let me explain. Let's say you go through high school, you graduate, and now you are like, okay, what's my next step? How do I build up my life? Well, you're right. You've got health right now. Relationships should heavily be procrastinated at your point in time. So the next step is you to building up your financials. Can we agree with that? So you building up your financials, you need to get rich ASAP. Now, you'd rather, instead of getting rich quick, you want to get rich for sure, but you still can do it fast, okay, in this day and age. Just let's do the consistency part and let's do it right, and let's make sure you don't lose the money that you gain, because that happens a lot of the time with people who get rich fast, right? So, if you are on your own and you have now inherited the knowledge that you've gained from your parents and from school, oh my gosh, then that means you're going to get a job and then try to get a better job. My gosh, I need a better salary for my jobs in the future, so I'm just gonna go to college and waste 5 years of my life. Don't do that. If you're doing those things that have always been done in the past, you're gonna get the same results that they've got. And guess what? Internet was not a thing back in their day. So what you're doing is you're procrastinating actually getting riches in those three categories of life if you listen to the tradition of your forefathers, okay? Don't do that. Instead, look at the people who are successful, who are rich, and how did they get there? And then you can begin to make some better decisions. You stop listening to your parents, you stop listening to the professors at school, and you begin to listen to the people who have the thing that you desire. The moment you begin to do that, things should begin to change for you. But you got a problem. Because you're still a little girl. What do I mean? Okay, I know I'm talking to you guys as men. It's the Men of High Value channel, but you're still a little girl, okay? When you grew up being a child, you were feminine. You got to your teenage years, you got some testosterone, but that testosterone, because you've wasted it and been watching porn and you've been trying to get laid with girls, etc., you are basically remaining in your femininity. Immediate gratification, emotions, now. Instead of being masculine and disciplined and prioritizing those things that actually are of most importance right now at this point in your life. So if you want to become a man, you actually have to use this time to allow yourself to be led. Okay, there are 5 phases of leadership, going very briefly through them right now. Phase 1 is allowing yourself to be led. Phase 2 is to lead yourself. Phase 3 is to lead others. Phase 4, lead women. Phase 5, lead kids. Women, not yet. Kids, oh no, not at all right now. Leading others, guess what? You haven't led yourself yet. Do you still have addictions? Do you still smoke? Do you still smoke weed? Do you still drink? Do you still have a 40-hour work week instead of having 80 hours a week? If so, you're not ready to lead others yet. You have to go through your journey of leading yourself. But before you can do that properly, guess what? You need to allow yourself to be led by other people who have the thing that you desire or who are massively ahead of the curve than you. Why? What's the difference? Well, look at a college education. Usually it costs thousands of dollars, okay? In some countries, like the Nordic countries, for example, you don't have to pay that much. But you basically get what you pay for, okay? You're getting an education that gives you a job. And it's not really awesome, and very often people take up loans for living expenses during that time anyway. Don't do that. You're falling into the trap of the government. They want to own you, okay? Don't do that stuff. Instead, if you're going to invest money, invest it in a mentor. Personal development is a team sport. Why do you need a mentor? Because you want to save time. That's why you need a mentor. Let me tell you the difference. If you were to try your own route, college, get a job, and then hopefully sometime in the future, I don't know what to do, you might start a business. But then you're kind of afraid, you still kind of have bad addictions, you still have women and distractions in your life, you never get anything done. It might happen, okay? Or you're the business owner mindset. You're 18, 20 years old and you want to get rich for sure and you're going to do it. You're not going to college. You're not listening to your parents, but you're just going to try and do it on your own. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to try a business and then it's going to be really difficult and you're still a girl, right? You're feminine. So since you're feminine, you want quick results without paying for the assistance that you need from others who've gone before you. Do you see the problem with that? So very quickly, you're going to give up or not work as hard, or you're going to be distracted by your friends or by girls, etc. And then because it was so difficult to create that business, you're like blaming the business instead of blaming yourself. So you're now going to start another business because you think that that's going to be easier and other people are making more money. And so you start that. And then you start another project very often. Or, okay, I'm telling you all the bad scenarios that are out there and that people are doing for a long period of time. Or you are basically choosing a business, but you're sticking to your guns and you're going to succeed at it. But it takes you 5 flippin' years instead of it taking 18 months to 2 years. If you had had a mentor, you could have done it so much more quickly. That's the power of having a mentor. And how does that work? It's basically you working with someone on a continual basis. If it's a weekly basis, absolutely amazing. If you can text back and forth with that coach, absolutely fantastic. A lot of coaching programs these days don't allow that to happen. They basically give you a video course and then you basically watch it. You get some knowledge for sure, but because you don't get that accountability back and forth and you can't ask them questions back and forth in a proper, true manner, face-to-face, one-on-one focus, you're not really getting the gist of a team working on your personal development. You need a team. And the number one thing you need is a mentor who's there by your side continuously, basically almost holding your hand whenever that is necessary for you to make the transition from femininity to masculinity. How does this look like? Let's say, for example, this is what I would say to my 12-year-old son, okay? It is time to build up your work ethic. I'm saying 12 years old. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go watch my quit school video that I made a long time ago. It is very relevant for you today if you're still in school. However, let's say it's 13, 14, or okay, fine. Let's say an 18-year-old. He's finished with high school. for the love of goodness, do not go to college. And I'll explain briefly why right now. What happens is you get 3 jobs. 3 jobs, all with different bosses, all working 80-hour work week. Why? To get rid of distractions. You need it, okay? Now, you won't put yourself in that type of situation, but a mentor will tell you to do that. And then it's basically up to you if you're going to listen to the guy that you've invested in, or if you're basically going to rebel and do your own thing like you've done with your parents for a long period of time, not listening to them. It's good that you're not listening to them if it's about things that actually have of a grander nature that they don't understand quite a lot about. But if it's, you get what I'm saying. The next point will be for you to transition over to business. Because now you have an 80-hour work week, but you need to transition to business to get rid of these jobs, okay? What you need is the business to be done on the side of those 80 hours, okay? Sometimes maybe you're doing 70 there, and then maybe you're doing 10, 20, 30 hours of business on the side. Massive work ethic in your early years because you've got the health and you've procrastinated women for now until you can take care of that later. Right now, it's just money. Build and stack your financial foundation hardcore. Don't think about anything else. This is it. You're building that business. And then when you have enough cash flow from your business to quit the worst job, you do that. And then you make more money because now you have more time in your business. So you quit that job, the next job, and then eventually you're making even more money than your main job and you quit that main job as well. How long should that take? If you have a mentor, personal development is a team sport, you together can actually manage to do that, to replace those jobs in less than 12 to 18 months. But you got to have the right vehicle. The right vehicle meaning the right business model that will actually create those kinds of results. And your mentor need to have some experience in those categories or in those vehicles in order for you to get those results. Okay? But if you don't have a mentor, how long will it take? Well, first of all, you're probably not going to be consistent with the 80 hours. You're probably still going to be addicted to stuff, to prawn, to alcohol, to parties in the weekends that will cause you to not do the things that you need to do. I was mentoring an awesome guy from Norway, the son of a great, great friend of mine. And it was basically a year and a half ago. I told him, he was from a different country, and I told him, go back to Norway, man. Start working crazy hours, okay? Do the 80-hour work week. Make as much money as you possibly can to develop that work ethic. Basically, the same process that I just explained to you right now. Okay, so he started that process. It took him a long time to get jobs in the first place, which should take 1 week, okay? But, he didn't have my help properly because he's young and he didn't have money, but I kind of just wanted to give him a fresh start. So he didn't really invest in me much back then. And then eventually he finally got the job and he hired me for 1 or 2 months and I helped him to get on the right track. And then he couldn't afford me anymore. Why? Because he wasn't putting in the 80-hour work week. So it took him time to get his brain right to do the 80-hour work week. Guess what? He quit on me, which was not a very good idea. Why? Because 18 months later, he's still in touch with me. He's still contacting me, but he wasted those 18 months. And instead of having basically a small fortune that I could have helped him get, I could have, okay? I did with multiple other guys. He's now instead in debt because of stupid purchases and stupid gaming and stupid whatever, okay? He's not stupid. He's awesome, okay? But the behavior that he did was feminine. So if he had rather used a mentor and understood what I tried to tell him back then of personal development is a team sport, I could have helped him and directed him to have that small fortune already right now at the age of 21 or 22, which he is right now. It's unnecessary to procrastinate the time of you becoming rich by trying to do it all on your own without the correct input. Even if you've got books, even if you've got YouTube, invest in yourself by investing in a team. And your first team member should be a mentor. Understand that if you get to that level of what I'm talking about, you should be able to get to 10K. US dollars in a month within 18 months if you've got a mentor. You manage to get rid of those jobs if you hire a coach, and I'm talking about me specifically because I don't know what the other coaches are teaching out there. But if you hire me, it should take you 12 months to replace all of the jobs that you've got. And then you need another 6 months buffer in order for you to get to 10K a month. No matter where you live, no matter where you are, if you are able to actually invest in a mentor, that's how it could look like for you. And you know what happens? That puts you in the top 10% of the adult population in the world in terms of global wealth distribution. Can you imagine? Just in 18 months' time, you can be amongst the top 10% in the entire world of global wealth distribution. How long do you think it will take you to get to 100K a month? You get to 100K a month, US dollars. It should only take you maybe 2 or maximum 3 extra years to get to that level, no matter the age you are, if you've got a mentor. 1 + 1 is not 2 when you have a mentor. We're talking about 1 + 1 = 5. It creates speed. It creates implementation. You begin to measure and report. And when you measure and report, the rate of improvement increases. It's awesome. If you're by yourself, however, it is not predictable or proven what's going to happen. It's basically going to depend on you and what you do and the information that you put inside your head and where you get that information from and how much you're actually committed to the process that you're on, because no one's going to hold you accountable. It's only going to be about yourself. And it's the path that most people take. You don't want to take the path that most people take. You want to take the path that the least people take. Why? Because that's what successful people do, man. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that it makes sense that if you put a team together to work on your personal growth, it changes everything. And once you actually have the money to begin hiring people to develop your business and to scale and to move beyond even those numbers, now you're developing a massive team. Now it's not just a mentor, we're talking now employees that are all working on your personal growth in the areas of relationships, health, and finance. The faster you can manage to afford an affordable mentor, the better it's going to be for your personal development. So if personal development is your thing, make sure to subscribe, like this video, study my stuff on Instagram. Make sure you go over there, Men of High Value, send me a DM and tell me what this video meant to you, and let's start a discussion. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.